somewhere between haircut videos, home haircut videos, and murder hornets, and the normal stuff like cat videos and various things like that. You may have been like me. You might have been surprised to learn some things, some valuable things on the internet and Facebook. And one of the things that I seem to be aware of is how much Bill Gates has changed over the years. The thought came to me this week that, you know, just based on Facebook alone, Bill Gates used to be this guy that he was so generous with his money. All you had to do was just click on a particular post, and Bill Gates was going to send you millions of dollars. And somehow Bill Gates lost his way, and now, according to Facebook, he's a murdering dictator who wants to take over the world. Well, of course I jest. And there's various similar things. He has certain puppets that he governs through, like Fauci and various ones like that. Obviously I'm joking. One of the things that we love are conspiracy theories. Everybody loves a good conspiracy theory. And so I want to talk a little bit about conspiracy theories. Why do we have them? Well, I'm sure there's always been a good, healthy conspiracy theory floating around various things, but for most people, just conspiracy theory is a part of our society, even before the internet. And the internet has exploded it to a certain degree just because it's easy to put out there, and people don't require a filter. And there's just such a volume of stuff that gets shot at us on a daily basis. But really, the appeal of a conspiracy theory really dates only a little bit over 50 years to the death of JFK. And most people don't realize that. As listening to someone talk, when the 50th anniversary of the JFK assassination happened, they were talking about really what happened, and ever since then, the flat earthers and the people that float crazy conspiracy theories, the reason that it gains traction is because ever since the death of JFK, there's been this inherent distrust, and that has largely to do simply not with the fact that there was a fourth and fifth shooter and all these other things, but it was the fact that the investigation was botched. It wasn't necessarily devious or what have you, but just because there was such a inept investigation, it allowed people to put motives into the explanation for why the answers didn't seem to add up. And so ever since then, whenever something happens, there's a group of people that no matter what it is, it can look as straightforward as the moon landing, or people flying planes into towers, whatever it is, people are going to look and find the suspicion. There's something that we're not being told. And I don't want to dwell on aspects of this that really do me nothing. In fact, I want to make this very applicable to you. Because as I was thinking about this, and I go through, Facebook and keep a hold of things and try to maintain some connection to people. And so some of the people that, you maintain connections with have varying degrees of, interest in other topics. It can be sports, it can be politics, it can be all these things, and conspiracy theory is one of them. I want to think about this a couple of ways. First of all, conspiracies do exist. There are some of you that are, any conspiracy that comes along is a good one, and you're over here, and then there's some of you that no matter what a person says in terms of, I don't think something's right here. This doesn't sound. You will be the one to jump on and say, well, and try to explain away any conspiracy. Now, if you don't like conspiracies or conspiracy theories, I suggest you stay away from the book of Acts. There's a good healthy dose of political conspiracy theory in the book of Acts. I mean, we have some pretty complex conspiracies to assassinate Paul. And it's not just from his enemies, but we have political leaders who are aware of what's going on, who are trying to get the Apostle Paul back to Jerusalem where he will be assassinated in order to curry favor with the local populace. That conspiracy theory happens, and Paul is aware of it, and because he's aware of it, he's like, I can't let this go on here. I know what's going on, so he appeals to Caesar, and he's like, I've got to get to Rome, and the world, whoever it may be, whoever's acting on behalf of Satan is trying to get me to go to Jerusalem where I will be killed and not go to Rome, and God has told me that I've got to go to Rome. So he's aware of conspiracy theory, and Paul was fully bought into conspiracy theory. So conspiracies do exist, and they have existed. So to simply reject them out of hand is I think, on one hand, that's not wise either. Conspiracies do exist. Now, whether this one or that one that you read about is true, I don't have the wherewithal or to know. And anybody who would say that they have the ability to sift through the data and say this is false or this is true, I don't think we do. There's a lot of things that happen, and there's a lot of political things that happen, and there's a lot of money, and the more money you add to a situation, the more conspiracies you'll get to obtain that money and power. That's all true. But here's what I want to get at for the Christian as we look at these things. I want to suppose, just for a moment, that every conspiracy that you've ever heard of was absolutely true. Every one of them. I mean Sandy Hook, I mean 9/11, I mean Desert Storm for oil, I mean any one that you've ever heard. Let's suppose they're all 100% true. All the truthers, the moon landing, everything. And I want to put those through a filter of two things, two Bible statements. As Christians. The first being a statement that Christ said. Jesus says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That when we get on and we post these things, and I've been guilty to a certain extent, I guess, in trying to make people aware of things or what I think is important. We've all done this, and I have to pull myself back and say, what is it that I am promoting? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. When I go on Facebook, what is it that I want to talk about? I've got a certain amount of time, and do I just want to sit here and bash this person or this group or what have you? Even if what I say is correct, what is my heart focused on if that's what I'm talking about? That's the first statement. And the second statement is a statement of Paul. He said, let everything be done for edification. Everything. All my speech should be for the purpose of edification. That applies to my online interactions as well. Are the things I'm doing for people's edification? Is that building people up? If, in fact, Dr. Fauci and uh, and Bill Gates are, Satan's right hand man, and they are trying to get their hands on a vaccine to control the world. And I know it, and I can prove it. What does that mean spiritually for those that I interact with? Can I change that? No. There's no amount of us who are peons in terms of world power. You and I aren't going to change that. If they're going to get a vaccine, they're going to get a vaccine. You don't want a vaccine? Don't get one. If if they track your phone, they're going to track your phone. Nothing is going to edify you by me spreading that. So that's what I want to leave you with. Something that you can use is to look at what it is you want to spread, what you focus on, what you take in. True or false? Is it something that's going to build up the people around you?